Welcome, craft beer fans. This is Ryan from Craft Beer Review here with Dean.
Hello.
Roy and Greg from Waverly Brewing. Thanks for checking into our podcast where we find out the stories behind your favorite breweries. So like I said, today we're at Waverly Brewing. I have Roy and Greg, owners and brewers here, sitting here with us. And guys, why don't you take a little bit and tell us about yourself?
Hey guys, this is Roy. I'm one of the founding partners and brewer here at Waverly. We've only been open a year, so we just had our 1 year anniversary in December. And with me is my head honcho brewer, Greg McGrath. And
Hey now.
he is, we're married here in the brewery. So.
Tell us about yourself, Greg.
I'm Greg, one of the brewers here. Roy's work husband.
I like that term. All right.
All right. So guys, why don't you tell everybody where you're located, and then you said you've been open for about a year now, and then we can find out how you got into brewing.
So we are technically in Woodbury, right across from the Pepsi sign, which we're staring at right now. We're at the bottom of Union Avenue.
It's in Baltimore, for those of you that don't know.
Right, a hop, skip, and a baseball's throw from Union, our brethren across the river from the JFX. So, Union and Clipper Mill is where you'll find the actual tap house and brewery.
If you haven't been here already, you guys should check it out. So guys, why don't you tell us how you got into brewing? We'll start with Roy first. Roy, what got you into brewing?
To be short, I used to work, my first job was a bookstore, and I ran into a couple books called the Foxfire series, which was about how Appalachians made wine. Okay. And my favorite quote from that is, "You can make an alcoholic beverage from anything but a rock." and it kind of sparked me. I started making wine because my grandfather did. Then one day I'm like, you know what? I like beer a lot better than wine. And so this whole home brewing thing got started. And I think I made my first batch when I was 16 in my mom's kitchen. And the legend goes, I stunk up her drapes with terrible hop smells. She never forgave me, said, "You're going to be doing that outside." And Dad wasn't really a fan of the first beer.
Did you get better as time went on?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely. The kits got bigger. The ingredients got better because I think I might have used Fleshman's yeast back then. I mean, it was
powdered. Right? Yeah.
Things I could find in a grocery store. There wasn't a homebrew store back in 1988.
Really?
That I can remember. There was there was a wine supply store in Ellicott City, which I used to go and get my carboys and my airlocks and all those ingredients.
So all of your yeast were just a packaged yeast at that point?
I believe so. I think I started using wine yeast before I could find anything decent, and that was maybe mid to when I had my first craft beer, which I think we'll talk about later.
Yeah. So Greg, how did you get into brewing?
Completely different. I was working the door, security for a brewery in town, right down the street. Brewers Art.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have heard of it, I'm sure. They just celebrated their 20th anniversary.
Yeah, they've been around for a minute.
So at that point I was working security. The brewer, Chris, needed to get a hernia taken care of and needed some help in the brewery, and was like, "Man, you're 21-year-old kid, you're a gigantic fella. Can you haul around some bags of grain?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I started helping him out, thinking that this is going to be like a 2-week, thing. And so the first time I ever brewed was a 7-barrel batch of Resurrection. So,
oh wow, that's like their staple beer.
Yeah. It was I was a young kid, not really knowing what I was doing, just doing what I was told in essence. I learned under other people. I learned under Chris Cashel, who is now, he's the head brewer at the Gordon Biersch down in Harbor East.
The Harbor East one.
And then, I spent a few years there, and then went to Mike McDonald, and then I learned under him at Red Brick. I worked under Mike there, who's now opened up Key, which is great because everybody who I had worked under is still in the industry.
That's very cool.
Then I went and I worked under a fellow, Chris Rusco, at Sisson's, before Hugh went to open Clipper Mill. Husis and opened up Clipper Mill.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Clipper
City.
City.
Yeah, okay.
Clipper City, which then turned into Heavy Seas. So I worked under a fellow Chris Rusco, who's now down at Denison's in Silver Spring. And then I took a little bit of time off, and then my friend gave me a call when he got the head brewer's job at the Growins, the lager house that doesn't exist anymore down, it used to be off of President Street. And so then I worked under Barrett Lauer there for a few years, and he is the head brewer down at the Chop House in D.C.
Okay.
And so I ended up working under 4 different brewers, 4 different breweries. And
You got a lot of different styles then.
definitely,
That you've
absolutely,
been exposed
absolutely.
to. That's very cool.
And I can still rely on all those guys. I mean, I call them on some, like Mike, I think I call on like a almost daily basis, for advice on this. Can I borrow this? What do you think about this? And so, yeah, it's great to have those guys as a reference.
That's so cool about the local scene is that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of competitions per se. It's more a lot of people working together to try to create their own products, but they're still willing to help each other out.
Yeah, a lot more collaboratives than competition, for sure.
It's very humbling, especially for a home brewer that got into this, that the community is so willing to help us. Even like, the guys at Union across the street are just have helped us immensely.
That's great. You would think it would be the opposite, I'd think it'd be cutthroat, but I'm glad to hear that it's not.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that we found through everybody we've talked to is just how everybody's so eager to help each other out, and if everybody grows together, that's a good thing, right? A rising tide raises all ships.
Absolutely.
And there's more coming.
There are.
There's always more coming.
The tide is getting deep.
So, real quick, do you guys remember what your first craft beer was?
I gotta say I do, and it was Pete's Wicked Ale.
I remember
Wicked
that.
Ale.
I do remember that.
It was
It's a
and I
flashback
think
there.
I you know what? I couldn't memory taste Pete's Wicked Ale if you paid me right now, but I think it was like an amberish, almost a brown ale. And
I don't remember.
I just remember the brand. I don't remember
I'll
the.
tell you what the label looks like.
it was on the hoppy side. It had a cool tattooish label, and that was the first one. Quickly followed by Sierra Nevada, which turned my hop head switch on.
Sure.
Like I was triggered when I
Yes.
had it. And I said, who the hell is putting grapefruit in beer? And who knew at the time, Oh, there's this thing called Cascade,
Yeah.
But
And who knew how popular that beer would be?
Oh,
Sierra
my
Nevada. I mean,
goodness.
it's still hugely popular.
Yeah, what they're number 3 or 4, and as far as like the size of breweries or craft breweries in the U.S.
What about you, Greg?
Sierra Nevada.
Oh, there you go.
Racers up on Harvard Road.
Spent a lot of time in racers.
Sure have.
luckily I spent a lot of time at Wells too. So
Okay.
before that it was all kinds of like I remember getting Reisdorf Kolsch or everything would be
import
imports.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was drinking English. I was drinking German. I was trying to find all these new flavors, and it's like nothing tasted like those 2 beers. One was, I guess, made in Boston, I think, and of course Sierra Nevada,
Yeah.
which literally changed our lives.
I mean, it changed the craft beer industry. It's just, when Fitz Maytag took over and everything, it changed everything about the
Oh,
craft
that
beer
was
industry.
Anchor.
Oh, that was Anchor?
That's
okay.
Anchor.
See,
Yeah.
there you go. See, they know what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
But that's another one. I mean, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're still around as well.
So, not too long after that first craft beer, I'm guessing that you guys started to focus on maybe doing craft beer for a living. Maybe not. I mean, maybe we were 16, maybe we were 19, maybe we were 21. But how about, when did you know you wanted to do craft beer for a living?
For me, as soon as I made my first batch at the Brewers Art there,
Yeah.
I knew it was something I was wildly interested in, wanted to just explore it. I had never had, not that I'd never had Belgian beer, I'd never been a part of making beer, which, I remember my father, he's got a doctorate in education. My sister's got her master's, my brother's got his master's. Never seen a guy tear up until I was like, Dad, I brew beer for a job now. I've never, ever.
Were they tears of joy?
There were tears of joy. No, there
there
were
you
tears
go.
of like, oh my dear God, I think, son, you've succeeded. Because he always said, find something that you love and then see if you
Yeah.
can make a job out of it.
Well, it sounds like you've succeeded so far, so that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Roy, how about you?
I ask myself that question every day. It's a lot more work than I realized. And it's a very humbling experience coming from a home brewer who, instead of brewing 5 or 10 gallons, you're doing, one of our batches is only about 200 gallons, but it's about, it's a lot of work. And
it's a little different than a pot on the stove, right?
It is, and I'm happy I've made it a year, and I'm looking forward to this year.
That kind of segues us into our next question. The hardest part about being a brewer or starting a brewery. What are some of the hardships or obstacles that you guys have had to overcome since starting this brewery a year ago?
Physical work and time. It's trying to balance time, outside of the brewery also. You have to remember, especially when first opening. I remember turning around looking at Roy 10 months in and being like, it's time for a day off. Like, it's time. Like, we need to take a day off. We need to remember, that we are something outside of, of here also. And we're getting better at that. It's really difficult in the beginning because there is just always so much more to do. There's always, you finish everything and you're like, oh man, I could stay up another 40 hours to just keep working.
Yeah,
it's still not going to finish everything, but you just plug away with it, plug away a little bit every day. And then eventually, you get to this point where we can sit down and breathe for a second.
2 clowns waste your time.
This is the best part of our day.
That's good. That's good.
Ours too.
Yes.
How about you, Roy? Anything that Greg didn't hit on there?
Yeah, I'll take the other side. So for me, it's been cleaning. It's easier to clean on a smaller scale than it is getting the standard operating procedures for big equipment. It's using different chemicals. I didn't use sodium hydroxide. When I was a home brewer, Star San would take care of everything. So learning that and jumping from a plastic carboy and a pail and an airlock to a big steel fermenter has been eye-opening for me.
Now, did you guys purchase all this new, or did you
We
repurpose it? Okay.
Yep. Everything in our brew house is new.
Okay.
All our fermenters are new. We're very happy with the condition of the welds and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's held together pretty well over our first year.
Cool. So we've talked about what the hardest part is.
Mm.
Give us some positives. What's the best part about it, of running the brewery?
Just Friday, I was sitting at a bar that carries one of our beers, and the waiter was talking to a young couple with a baby behind me, and one of them said, "Can we please have 2 more of the Pappas ales? We make a beer for local, restaurant, famous seafood icons,
Yes.
Pappas." So they said, maybe you should talk to this guy. And I literally turned around and they said, I'd like to thank you for the best beer in Maryland.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I was like, fell off my stool.
Sure.
And I only had a half a beer. So,
I've had this beer, by the way, and I can attest that it's a very good beer.
For me, getting just anyone that said, hey, I enjoyed your beer, no matter what, is just like brings a tear to my eye and an extra thump to my heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we love your stuff. Me and Dean have been here a couple times since you guys have opened, and that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to get you guys on a podcast, and so you can talk about your product, because you guys are kind of like a little hidden treasure here down in the valley. Everybody sees Union, but there's great beer being made right across the street, and I think that's why we want to get your guys' voice out there.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. So the beer that this couple said was the best in Maryland, where can you get that beer besides here at your tap house?
Well, if we make plenty of it, sometimes you can get it in the tap house. Greg and I have gotten a lot better at keeping Pappas Pale Ale in stock, so we had some extra, so we put a keg on here. But usually they have 3 locations. Pappas does, and that's Cockeysville, the original in Parkville, and there's a Glen Burnie also.
So if any of you guys want to try the Pappas Pale Ale and they don't happen to have it here on tap, you want to go to Pappas Seafood. So Pappas getting a free plug
Yeah,
today.
definitely pair it with a crab cake.
Yeah, they got awesome
I think
crab
you have
cakes.
to if you're going to go to Pappas, you know?
And if you're listening to this and you don't live in Maryland, I feel sorry for you because you don't get to eat a Maryland crab cake.
Yeah.
You do though, because Pappas will ship them.
They
to
will
you.
ship.
Another Pappas
There
plug,
we go.
guys.
Welcome.
They will ship them overnight.
Our 7 listeners are going to really bump them up. So.
Welcome to Pappas Hour. Oh, that's great.
So besides the Pappas Ale, what are your other mainstream or your mainline beers that you serve year round?
Well, we have the Golden Sombrero blonde. We have the Turnbuckle Brown, which is buckwheat brown. Our No Kings Pale Ale, and then the Captain C are the 4 that we keep on year round. Oh, and then the local oyster stout.
Okay.
Which we're trying some right now that we do in conjunction with collaboratively, I should say, with the local oyster down in Mount Vernon Marketplace. So it's all Maryland oysters off the Eastern Shore that they farm, and I think it's a lovely beer. One of the first stout recipes I developed, and really, really proud of it. Did a lot of research on it. It was a style that I'd really enjoyed in my younger years, and then I just kind of disappeared it. You know, it's like I used to see it around, and then I still see some representations of it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to kind of give it a whirl.
I think it's like a Maryland thing, the oyster stout, because you don't hear about many other breweries making them. But.
Not a lot. We did have, what was that? Remember the Rocky Mountain oyster stout?
That's a different oyster.
What was that, Wind Coop?
Wait,
Is that Wind Coop?
3 balls per barrel.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I tasted it. It tasted like chicken.
I'm
kidding. It tasted like stout. It was.
I finished my whole pint.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you guys have anything exciting on the horizon? Any exciting beers coming out?
Well, we have the other half of the batch of the stuff that you guys are trying. So we did Chocolate Town, which is a chocolate porter that we then nitrogenated after a slight rest on port barrels. So we have another 2.5 barrels that is now sitting in a retired port barrel that we got from our friends at Bordy, and is being rested on cherries. And so we plan to release that in mid-February. And so,
your
we're
Valentine's beer?
Our Valentine's Day, so a chocolate cherry porter.
That sounds
pretty
really good.
Pretty excited about that one,
Yeah.
and just excited about kind of our first rested on oak for a while, because that'll be in there for 6 weeks, I think,
At least.
7 weeks by the time we
Okay.
end up pulling it out. So pretty excited about that one.
We also messed around with, it was Greg's 40th, so this New England style pale ale, kind of a session IPA-ish.
Let's say session pale ale.
Session pale ale, but it's not so pale because this is our first time where you make a beer you can't really see through. So that's new for both of us.
It seems to be new for everybody.
I know.
Yeah, I don't.
Orange juice beer.
And I think you guys got to try some.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah, no, it's
fermenter
good.
before you got-
It's an interesting concept, and it's blowing up for some reason. But it seems to be counterintuitive, like you said. Though beer's supposed to be clear.
It's normally
you
a
know,
flaw. It's normally something that you would consider a flaw in beer. I mean, for years and years, I remember at DeGroens, we'd cold crash, we'd centrifuge, we'd filter to try to read print through the beer to brighten it up.
Yeah.
Now, with that style, it's completely different than what I'm used to.
It's almost like some lazy brewer is like, fuck it, I'm just going to put this out there and see if they like it. And now he's got a hit, you know?
Now it's everybody's doing it.
Now the flaw is if it clears up too much.
Yeah,
we yell at each
This
other.
is too clear.
Yeah, guys, we're drinking the Chocolate Town right now. I know you can't see it because you're listening, but it's pretty delicious. And I can't
I'm
wait
excited,
to try it.
yeah.
I can't wait to try it with the cherries.
And I feel like that's going to go fast, like once you guys put that out, because this is really good, and I think that's going to be even better with the cherries and the rest and the porter oak and everything.
So if you're a local craft beer lover, I think you should bring your significant other down here around Valentine's Day and check that out. So where do you guys see yourself in about 10 years? Or where would you like to see yourself in 10 years? Tricky question.
Wow.
I think we've stumped them.
Yeah, we got him finally.
That is a stumper. I like I said, I'm humbled to make it a year. We'd like to get out, into the world a little more. we obviously are doing a good thing in the tap room here, but that's 95% of our beer is right here. So we'd like to branch out, get in some of our favorite watering holes, do a couple tap takeovers. It's just that, we're so small, one batch, 200 gallons. We want to get out to some of our favorite places, and then maybe that leads to canning. And I kind of take a page from, some of our other same-sized analog breweries, and maybe by our third year, we're in cans and we're in, liquor stores. And
So you guys aren't distributed anywhere. You just send your kegs to Pappas.
Yep, we do Pappas and we do the local oyster
Mount
pretty
Vernon
much in Mount
Marketplace, yeah.
Vernon.
And then you had the one beer, though, at Trinidad.
Trinacria, yeah, just yesterday. They got, because they're across the street from local oyster.
So they just got lucky.
And my buddy just started managing and was like, hey, we're putting in the draft beer system. What are the chances? And I was like, man, I've had so many people ask, but you're lucky because I'm delivering right across the street. And so, we do have a tap at Trinacria.
Turned out to be a huge hit, right?
Yeah. First night went through what I delivered, and next day asked for 5 times what I delivered the first time. So I would say that was definitely successful.
And that's got to be the problem, being as small as you are. Is like when you make a popular beer, the volume you can't keep up with the demand. I feel like
it becomes very challenging to try to. Especially since we're new and we don't really know how the beers are going to go. It's hard to say, man, I need to brew that immediately because we're going to sell through it. You don't know until you put it up and see what the reaction of people are. And then if it's a hit, you're like, I should probably brew that yesterday. But that's part of the beauty of being a small 5-barrel system is that, we, and I think that's what people have come to know about us is that you like something, you better try it, and you better bring Growler home.
Yeah.
Because next time you come, it may or may not be here. You might have to wait a week, half, until we can get it back on. And we tried, we had one, we did our double IPA, the Jerkwater, and really, people loved it. And then we're like, oh, man, we got to brew this again. Oh, how do we get those hops being a small, young brewery? It becomes very difficult because, we just had, after we were a year old, had our first hop contract, which guarantees us ingredients to be able to make beers. But being a small guy, we're calling our friend, I'm calling every guy I used to work with, hey, can I swap you? I'm going to do today with Tim from Peabody Heights. I'm, borrowing, hey, I'll swap you some Cascade for some Citra because I need some Citra, but I don't have any Citra. And you've got a pallet of Citra and I need 3.5 pounds. I'll swap you some Cascade for some Citra. And luckily we have a community where everybody will help each other out and do that. And so
absolutely,
it's awesome, and but it's definitely difficult. It's difficult when you make a great beer and it sells really well, and then you're like, oh, balls, I can't get this ingredient.
I know. That's got to be the absolute worst.
Then what you'd have to do is you have to decide, can I use a substitute ingredient and make this beer the same, or do I just redevelop this into a different recipe?
What you've done with the Kick series.
Yeah, with the Kick series. We've done it with a couple of different beers where we're like, oh, man, we can't get that hop anymore, so let's change the recipe and put it out, and it'll be a different beer. So we will name it a different beer. The High Kicks was a beer that I designed the New England style session for my 40th, and now we're going to do it as a series. We're going to continually tweak the dry hopping, do the same malt bill, and continually put it out.
I think it'll be fun.
Me too. And that's what it's about. It's keeping us happy and fun, and keeping the person drinking it, interested, continually interested in your product.
I mean, you guys got a pretty cool spot here. They open Wednesday through Sunday, correct?
Yep, Wednesday through Sunday. We're open weekends. We're open up all day. Saturday we open up at noon. We're open up till midnight. Sunday we open up at noon. Open till 7. Friday it's 4 till midnight.
Okay.
And yeah, we have different food purveyors who come in, selling food and keeping people happy.
Yeah, I know the 3 times I've been here, I've been well fed and well drunk by the time.
That's what it's all about, right? Yeah. So, guys, we're going to ask you some fun questions now, just some quick ones. So, what's your favorite album to listen to when you're brewing beer?
Greg and I vary wildly on musical styles. So, I think I'm going to answer this question as like what we can both tolerate, and it seems to be like Johnny Cash.
Okay.
That's not bad.
So
That's not bad.
that's what I can think of from the playlists. But
For me, it's going to change obviously a lot comparatively. We definitely have wildly different music.
Okay.
My musical catalog varies too. I'll listen to anything mattering on the day from Wu-Tang Clan to Grateful Dead to Sturgill Simpson. So in mine, and it's pretty neat because this guy is slightly older than me, and so so I started playing some hip hop that he's I'm amazed, like you've never heard like this Biggie Smalls tune,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's like
He's
bouncing
into
his
it.
head. He's
Yeah.
good. Speaking of Biggie Smalls,
I was a punk rocker, so I mean,
Okay.
it's when some of the Biggie stuff comes on, I'm like either like laughing in tears or I'm actually like tapping my feet a couple times.
And it's funny, just to go with this, one of the oddest ingredients that you've put into a beer, just thinking of Biggie Smalls. So, Roy, in his homebrew days, did a beer around Halloween. And so he did it with blueberry cereal. And so I'm like, okay, let me embrace the homebrew concept of interesting things to use in the mash. And so he's like, yeah, I think, what'd you say when you homebrewed? You use
3
like
boxes.
Yeah, like 3 boxes.
Crush it up and put it in there.
No,
Just
right.
Throw it right in,
Just like it was
marshmallows and
cereal,
all.
huh?
Do they make blueberry cereal?
Yeah,
anymore?
well, I'll tell
They
you.
do?
So I found out. So I was like, all right, well, let's develop that recipe. Screw it, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's around Halloween. Let's do a blueberry cereal. And so Roy's like, man, let's just do 3 boxes like it is. I was like, no. If we're gonna make that beer, we're gonna make that effing
Go
beer
hard or
just
go
like
hard.
you did. Yeah. So. Yes, do you make blueberry cereal anymore? I had to call a lot of grocery stores, and then finally I found up in Wegmans, up in Hunt Valley, they had just gotten a pallet. And I was like, hey, do you guys have blueberry cereal? Yes. It's like, awesome. How much do you have? How much do you need? I need about 70 boxes. and the woman's looking at me like I run like a restaurant
kitchen
or a super,
yeah.
something. No, it's me and my girlfriend. We show up in my pickup truck. And so we put 50 boxes of blueberry cereal into the mash, which was, for me, the strangest ingredient I've ever put into a beer in my entire life. And so put it in, and again, cutting. This is at 6 a.m. I'm cutting 50 boxes.
Yeah.
We were dumping them in, throwing a box, opening a box, dumping a box, and then all of a sudden, it's through the mash, and the mash is a couple of feet, and then all of a sudden, it's like, where'd it go? It became a liquid.
Oh, no.
And so. At the end, it was the first time where we made a beer, and we sent it over through heat exchanger, and we got over, and I was like, uh-oh. This doesn't look good. This doesn't even look appetizing. It was like a murky gray. And it wasn't like a consistent gray. It was like a blotchy, gray. And I gotta say, I started to get really worried. It was like if it was a New England, blueberry style, it would have been disgusting. Because so luckily, we cold pressed, we dropped everything out of solution. Then we have like more of a golden color almost. And so then we added, we used 84 pounds of blueberry puree from one of the food products and we fermented most of it out, and then back sweetened with some blueberry, and so to go back to the Biggie Smalls, we ended up naming it Ain't That Right Boo, and I went online and I was like, I have to, there's got to be a Biggie Smalls action figure or something, and I found, you got to grab the tab, I found this guy up in Brooklyn who did gold Biggie Smalls heads 3D printed, and so that's what I ended up making the Ain't That Right Boo tap out.
Nice.
Which was
I think I saw that on Facebook.
a golden Biggie Smalls head with.
This is a podcast, but here he is.
That is great.
So it's all gone now, but maybe next Halloween we may the return of the boo.
That's awesome.
Now, how did it come out flavor-wise? Because the tap's awesome.
It tasted great, actually. It was one of those, you're making it and you do the math and you got your fingers crossed and then it turns out murky gray and then you get real nervous and then by the end you're like, oh my god, and people really enjoyed it. I loved it, and I'm not a huge fruit beer fella, but It was really tasty.
It made me think of what people are feeding their children.
Yeah.
When all the gray matter dropped out of the fermenter.
Oh, and talk about a CIP. Oh my Lord. Woo. That was clean in place. That for cleaning the brewery, that was a chore.
Sludge.
Marshmallows in a kettle.
Scraping it off everything.
Are they even really marshmallows though? Like,
It's like a
kind of
sugar
marshmallow,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was definitely the oddest ingredient that I could say I think I've definitely ever put
Do you
into
want the $1 million question?
What's the $1 million question?
Why do you call it Waverly Brewing?
When it's in Hamden.
Oh, it's Waverly. So I used to play dumb, and I used to just say, "Oh, there's a neighborhood called Waverly." Where is that neighborhood? Because in the beginning we got it a lot. Yeah, and there was like so it's and then I started going with it's one of our partners' grandfather's names.
Okay.
And so we named it that. So that one was like, yeah, all right. It's actually Roy was around for the naming. I came in slightly after.
Yeah, so our partner Bill owns the Waverly Color Company, and he makes tattoo inks. And since that business is in Hamden, we kind of took his nickname and stayed with Waverly.
Okay.
We went through a bunch that were 4 syllables and 6 syllables and 2 different names, and everything sounded really weird and hipster. So we decided, we're going to be Waverly. We might be in Woodbury. We might be in Hamden, but we're going to stick with Waverly.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll buy that
makes
story.
sense. Because I remember when I first saw that, there's a Waverly Brewing Company. I'm like, where are they going to be? Like on Greenmount Avenue somewhere? I was like, that might be
a lot of people will, because today I'm going to go over to Peabody Heights, and Tim's like, I get a lot of people who walk in and are like, so man, I haven't had Waverly beer yet. He's like, well, you're not going to have it here because we're Peabody Heights, but welcome into the door.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and letting us interview you, and hopefully everybody that listens really enjoys this podcast, because I think this was great.
Yeah, come check this place out. Either go to Papa's or come to the brewery and check it out.
If you're local, you should come to the brewery for sure. These guys have a great setup here. They're making great beers, and we've been a fan since the day they opened, so you're not going to be disappointed, trust me.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Make sure you check our Facebook page, Craft Beer Review, Snapchat, and of course Instagram. Also, guys, you have a Instagram and Facebook page as well.
We do.
A website?
Yep, absolutely.
WaverlyBrewingCompany.com.
There you go. So, guys, make sure you check it out, and thanks for tuning in.